InPDUM, and I am the international president of the International People Democratic Uhuru movement. And I just want to really appreciate everybody that is tuning in from various different sites. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, however you got yourself here, you are in the right place. Today, the International People Democratic Uhuru movement is making a statement of solidarity with our brothers and sisters in South Africa. And on this show, we will be talking about how the struggle is really being defined and what the African working class is saying, what is their demands, and why is this struggle have to be led by the African People's Socialist Party, the vanguard party of the African People's Socialist Party. And the International People Democratic Uhuru movement is a mass organization under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. So sit back and enjoy and share, because it's so important for us, the African working class, have our own way to understand the world as it is, not as we are told it is, not as we want it to be, but as it is, so we can fight for peace, bread, and Black power. So we're going to go right into our show today. And I would like to first introduce our first comrade that is going to be saying This Flag of Mine by Marcus Garvey's wife, Amy Garvey. This poem is a very powerful piece. So I hope you catch every single word, and to say that it is our duty and our responsibility to build internationally, as Marcus Garvey set out to do, to carry it out in the 20th century. That's what the International People Democratic Movement is here to do. And so I want to introduce our comrade, Janelle, that will be quoting this poem, Uhuru.
Uhuru Kalambai, Uhuru everyone. Regardless of what is told of it, here's to this flag of mine. The red, black, and green hopes in its bright future. Africa has been seen. Here's to the red of it. Great nations shall know of it in time to come. Red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it. Great flag of mine. Here's to the black of it. 400 millions back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it. Oh, flag of mine. Here's to the green of it. Young men shall dream of it, face shot and shells of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it. Pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thank God for giving it. Great flag of mine.
Uhuru. Every time I hear this poem, it is just a very, very powerful piece. It's a timeless piece. So I just really want to salute our comrade Janelle for doing that poem. And I also want to just really salute Marcus Garvey and Amy Garvey for leading this struggle to understand that Africa is 1 billion strong, that we are not these subtitles that they tell us that we are one people, we are a nation of people that have been dispersed and have been dealing with colonialism for over 600 years. And we are not fighting racism, that we're not fighting ideals in anyone's head, but we are fighting for power. We are fighting for economic development in our community, in our own hands. I just really want to say that this whole program, from South Africa to right where I sit today in St. Louis, Missouri, we are fighting neo-colonial puppets that represent the ruler class, that fight for pennies off their table at the expense of the people. And we say that the African working class has to have a vehicle of its own, and we do. We have the African People's Socialist Party, our leadership, Chairman Amali Yeshitela. I just really wanted to stop and just really salute and appreciate Chairman Amali Yeshitela that built the International People Democratic Uhuru movement and the African People's Socialist Party and the Vanguard Party and the whole Central Committee and Chairman Tafari in South Africa that lead this incredible work, the cadre there that has been leading this mass work, and Jekele and all the forces that's behind in South Africa. We are so happy to say that touch one, touch all. From St. Louis to South Africa to San Diego to New York, we are rising up and we are saying that we ain't taking it no more. So we are about to get into this dynamic culture piece from South Africa, because we understand that our culture is being hijacked as well. And in culture, that we could tell stories that can reach everyone, no matter what language barrier might be there. So culture has always been a part of who we are as a people, as African people. So I'm excited to present this next culture piece right from our very own South Africa, our comrade, Uhuru.
Red, black, and green. Black Panthers born to be kings.
Yes,
In the Red Sea, we
Uhuru
swim.
comrades, yes, we're here
No
to
hunger
fight us
when the
over there
This is the
in South
second culture.
Africa.
This is the that was our surprise. That right there is our surprise culture. That's the second one. This one is going to be a video that we're going to show, and then we're going to have more culture after we get to the meat of our meal. We got some dessert, so you don't want to click off of this live. You actually want to go ahead and share it, because we're about to get into it. But the first culture will be a video that we would show, and then we're going to give you some dessert later on. So don't leave.
land is green. I'm the protagonist within. My stripes, deep in the Red Sea, are similar to a fin of a fish. Not the fish that we eat. This is the fish that sings. Black is unique. Black on white paper is the ink. Black is not oblique. But still, the ink can kill and write. Black is the disease. The ink has flaws. Or is it the mind that is flawed? Because the ink says, it's not my fault. I can't say anything. I can't cast a stone. I can't sympathize. Red, I can't black, white, green. Because I, like when I was born, not the strong. In the Red can be easily controlled to do what is no hunger and big the land wrong. I'm a protagonist. A black lead, my stripes. What is it in the Red Sea are similar to a fin? It's my end fate. Not the head that we create. Build with the teachings of Omali. My end fate is my end fate. My end fate is my end fate. The aim is to build and recreate. The aim is to destroy and recreate. The aim is the melanin I should appreciate. The medicine from the greens in the Sangomas Randeville I should appreciate. I won't ever deviate. When they demonize, I meditate. Like a monk at the top of the pinnacle who turns hate into lemonade. Then to inner deeper peace to the restless black souls, singing hymns of struggle inside him. I am nothing. I am water. I am a seed. I have seen slave ships, stolen resources. I know what belongs to you. Uhuru.
Uhuru. Yeah, right on, brother. Yeah.
Greens in the Sangomas Randeville I should appreciate. I won't ever deviate. When they demonize, I meditate. Like a monk at the top of the pinnacle who turns hate into lemonade. Then to inner deeper peace to the restless black soul.
Uhuru, really want to appreciate that fire culture and how culture, I'm an artist myself, and I just love how we express ourselves. In the International People Democratic Uhuru movement, one of our economic ways that we fund our movement is Uzi. Uzi is a Swahili word that means thread of freedom. And we believe that we use to be able to put revolutionary culture on our clothes, to be able to tell the masses, fist up, fight back, touch one, touch all. It's very powerful to be able to express ourselves through culture. So I just really want to appreciate the culture right out of South Africa. Uhuru, comrade, Uhuru. One Africa, one nation. So now we're going to get into the meat of it, why we are here. What's the uprising that has been happening in South Africa? Who is the real looters? What is the demographic? What is happening on the ground with our brothers and sisters in Africa? And so I want you to hear it right out of the mouths of the people on the grounds in South Africa that can help you understand what this struggle is. And every group of people have to have a theory that helps explain their reality. And the African working class, before I came into InPDUM, it met me at my political door, which was one that I didn't have much to understand this reality of why we were being shot down in the street, why we were so poor, you know, that these conditions that had been placed on our life wasn't simply just explained as, you know, this spirituality way of looking at our life, but science. Why are we poor? Why is Africa poor? Why is only dope in our community? Why is it only churches and liquor stores? So it's so important to have an analysis that is informed by a theory that help us to understand how, not only what we're going through, but how do we get free? How do we build for real peace, bread, and Black power? So I am so excited to introduce, because InPDUM is an international organization that was established in '91 by the African People's Socialist Party, Chairman Amali Yeshitela. And since then, we have grown, and we are an international organization. And Jekele is the president in South Africa. And he's in company by other comrades in South Africa as well. But first, Jekele is going to sum up what's happening. And right after Jekele, we are going to have our very own Vice President, Masamela Odom, that is the International Vice President on the Executive Committee of InPDUM, that will be given a statement of the international scope of what's happening in South Africa and what we are set out to do to seize power over our life, from South Africa to San Diego to St. Louis. So we're going to go in that order, and don't leave, because we will have some dynamic treats, desserts of culture right out of South Africa after these two speakers. Uhuru. Jekele?
Black power. Uhuru. We are saying that's our time of colonial time. So I won't waste time, President. I'll go straight
You have 5 minutes.
To say that
You have
5 minutes, yeah. I want to say I want to salute Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who have brought us the Uhuru movement, also the African internationalism, which is the philosophy of the African working class to get organized, to change the system for our own interests. So I'm here in occupied Azania, where there's trending. South Africa is on the news. The African working class is on the news because there's a crisis happening. So we are going to talk about the situation here in South Africa, what it means to the poor African working class, and what we should do to change the system. So South Africa is a settler colony, meaning that white people took our land. and created this South Africa. So when they were taking this land, the president, they killed so many Africans while taking our land till they reach Zimbabwe, Botswana, killing African people. So we want to say that tax was introduced back in the 1800s to make the Africans to go work to white people, because Africans were able to survive with the land here in Southern Africa. We were all able to feed ourselves through the land. We didn't need to go to work for white people. So when they saw that we don't go to work, they introduced tax. So to be able to pay tax, you have to go to work. So they introduced this tax to make us to go for work. So we work for these white people for so many years, like since they arrived here in South Africa or occupied Azania. Yeah. So what, in 1910, South Africa was formed when we were defeated as the African people after the Bambata uprisings. So these uprisings that is happening now is not the first uprisings. So we had the Bambata uprisings in 1908, where Bambata was fighting for the land. So we're still struggling today to get the land. So we're saying we want to complete that that struggle that was done by Upambata and Shaka Zulu. So the struggle continued in 1960s, was carried out by the African working class. We fought the apartheid system until we reached 1994. So 1994 is what brought us to this day today. So in 1994, they introduced white power in blackface, where they changed the management. They changed white people and put black people in parliament to run this capitalist system. So the people, they've been believing that we should vote and believe in this constitution. So, but the time, the conditions on the ground, because we're in a capitalist system, they don't change. Africans are still living like they were living in during apartheid. We are not working here in occupied Azania. We don't have land. We are poor African. The one we saw in TV going to the malls, they are the ones who are hungry, because we're in a crisis now where we're saying the petty bourgeoisie are in a crisis. The capitalist system is not working. White power is not working here in occupied Azania. It's no longer working. So we're in a campaign to say, as the InPDUM, as the African People's Socialist Party, we are getting organizing the African working class around here in occupied Azania in Southern Africa. We're saying, let's organize under our organization so we can fight for our land to complete the revolution. That's why we are seeing those riots on television. The riots are because the revolution was not completed. So in InPDUM, as we are seeing, we have President Kalambai in US or America, is a one organization. I'm also here in occupied Azania, South Africa. I'm representing InPDUM, is a one organization organizing all African workers around the world so we can take back Africa. So we're calling all Africans around the world. We're in a campaign to say the workers, get organized. Let's push the struggle. The time is now. There's no more turning back. We're saying in Swaziland, the Africans are fighting. We go to Senegal, in Mali, Africans are fighting. So we're also fighting now here in occupied Azania. We're saying let's get organized. We want to get so we can complete the revolution that was betrayed in 1994. So the revolution continue. InPDUM is about that revolution, completing the struggle of Steve Biko and all those stuff. So in the townships, what we have witnessed is that the workers went to take stuff in the malls. So they are being called looters. So we want to say workers are not looters because the workers are the ones who go to the farms to the factories are the ones who works who produce the wealth that goes to the malls. So by us, that's went to the malls because they know that they understand that this stuff is our stuff, man. We produce those stuff, but why we cannot afford it? We are working every day, but we cannot afford those stuff. So the workers are revolting against those systems. They say it's about free Zoom, but I want to report to the African out there international that occupied Tanzania, white people here own like more than 80% of the land. We're in the township, in reserve. We're struggling. We have nothing to survive. So we're saying we can get our yachts for the land. So, but we cannot just take what is in the mall. We have to go for the land, comrade. So the riots are about that unemployment. People are not are unemployed. There's no road. There's no development. Poor education. They're still giving us the old education. So there's no future for the African children in occupied Tanzania or South Africa if we don't get organized. The time is now. We are saying get organized bafowethu. Sila ePinari sikhona, eMbombela, eGauteng sikhona, sinema-branch, sine-campaign sayiphusha manje sithi sifuna ama-volunteer abuya to assist kule campaign ye-bread, which is there won't be peace if there's no bread. So we have to achieve bread, peace, and black power. That's our campaign we're launching today. We're saying everyone must join us to this campaign. Go forward. Let's not surrender. Let's go forward with the struggle. We're calling for bread, peace, and black power in 2021. There's no more voting. Voting has not worked. Since 1994, we've been voting. So now it's time to move the struggle forward to take power. Let's get organized. Uhuru, comrade. So you think we will get on.
Uhuru. Woo, that was powerful. Masamela will be coming next. Just really powerful. I just want to just say that it's no such thing as unemployment for the African, because even when we are unemployed and seeking to get welfare or standing in the soup line, it is a full-time job. Even when we fighting with so-called disabilities, or my mom, when she retired, like 72 years old, but she can't afford to retire. It's no retirement for us. It's no unemployment. How can an African colonized person be unemployed? I just really salute and appreciate exactly what the comrade is saying, that we have to move beyond just, the mall, but we have to say how we going to make sure and ensure that all African children are educated, and we can put a curriculum forward that is interest to the people, the African working class. I just think that was so powerful. Thank you, comrade. And more will be coming from South Africa. But next, you are going to hear for our very own Masamela Odom. And just to show you how every one of us come differently to InPDUM and come into political life. Comrade Masa Odom is a professor. That's what he do for a living. But his what his passion is revolution. And so he bringing all those talents and everything that he got from the petty bourgeoisie to give them hell to fight for his own people. And so that's why you can't think that you're too smart. You can't think that you're too dumb. You can't think that you're too smart. All African people have to be brought into political life, brought into the International People Democratic Uhuru movement. Take this mic, Masamela.
Uhuru, yeah. I want to salute you, President Kalambaye. Want to salute Comrade Zakele. Masamela. A lot of us take names and stuff like that, but Masamela is actually my given name from my father. In many ways, I like to laugh because it was actually it means roots, right? It means root in the Southern African language of Sutu. And and I was born at the time that that movie was popular. But nevertheless, I think that that does sort of underscore the importance of the talk I'm going to give right now, just very briefly, which is the importance of the connections between Southern Africa, the struggles for liberation in Southern Africa to here in the U.S., but also underscoring this as an international struggle. It's only internationalist, anti-colonial struggles for liberation that's going to actually free us as a people. Too often in the U.S., this idea of South Africa has maintained a form of like an anomaly or something like that. Look how different things are. That's why we have to support them, right? This is what the liberal left, the white left, the even the African petty bourgeoisie has been generally interested in South Africa for. But I want to salute Chairman Omali Yeshitela, leader of the International African Revolution, founder of the Uhuru movement, and head of the African Socialist International, for bringing forward the idea of African internationalism, and like I said, really grounding this struggle in an anti-colonial struggle, which lets us know that it's not simply about 1948 to 1994 or something like that, but it's understanding that for the last 600 years, African people haven't been free. I would like to salute President Kalambai, international president of InPDUM. I'd like to salute the leadership throughout the African Socialist International, such as Secretary General Loizi Kinshasa, Tafari Magari, chairman of InPDUM, chairman of the African People's Socialist Party in occupied Tanzania, South Africa, Comrade Asa Ampu, and President Zakele Mkondo, who you guys just heard from. So like I said, I'm going to talk briefly about the importance of the struggle going on and the historical struggle for liberation in occupied Tanzania and its importance to us. And this could only be done by way of an African internationalist framework, because the African internationalist framework is the only framework that clearly understands the colonialism as the primary mode of capitalist production, which gives us the framework to understand how the international struggles of African people are linked and the way forward. African internationalism is defined by what we like to call the to what end. It's defined by the to what end. Like I said, South Africa is also specifically important because of the fact that it's in 2001 that comrades from InPDUM went into South Africa, took the struggle of international struggle for African reparations on the international stage at the World Conference on Racism in September 2001 in South Africa, and we like to say, you never leave empty-handed, right? We went there, we made the international, the struggle for reparations an international term, as we had done 20 years before that as well. But it's also at this moment that it's also at that exact same moment that the first branch of InPDUM in South Africa had been established. So I just want to talk about this, right? Because it's through the leadership of Chairman Omali Yeshitela that we understand that that is the colonial domination of African people around the world that defines the struggles which we are dealing with. Colonialism is defined as the foreign and alien domination of a people for the purpose of economic exploitation and political advantage, to strip a people of all human and civil rights. This is outlined in the African People's Socialist Party 14-point platform. It's outlined in the Revolutionary Democratic Program, which InPDUM promotes. Right, and it's only through understanding that this is a anti-colonial struggle against colonial domination that we actually get to know what we have to do. Because, like I said, 1948 to 1994, for some people, is an important moment because for the liberal left, apartheid marks the highest form of oppression. They look at 1948 to 1994. They look at it in the U.S. as a period in which democracy was coming to African people, whereas in South Africa, rights were increasingly being taken away. But this makes no sense, right? And it's 40. So you're telling me the oppression of African people in South Africa is defined by this 46-year period? That makes absolutely no sense. The colonial assault against Africa began in the 15th century. The colonial assault against what's now South Africa began in the 15th century, and it surely did not end in 1994. Right? Neither was this period of the post-war period, some period of increasing rights coming to African people. What we nevertheless saw in both situations were shifts in colonial capitalism, at no point in which Africans actually got free. And it's only the African People's Socialist Party that has advanced this understanding, and InPDUM as the mass organization of the African People's Socialist Party that has advanced this understanding, right? In South Africa and the U.S., Africans are linked in our shared struggle against counterinsurgency. Right, we can see everything from the prison rates, the rates of HIV and other infectious disease. It's in the African communities of the U.S. right now, and the African communities of Africa, the Caribbean, Europe, that we see COVID exploding while the white settler populations are living their best lives. Right, living their best lives. We know that the lack of resources in North St. Louis, where Africans live off of $5 a day, to South Africa, to all throughout the African continent, where Africans can have jobs where they sign a contract and never actually even get paid, right? That we understand this colonial oppression of African people, the lack of basic resources that are needed to live, bread, peace, Black power being stripped from African people. So we're calling on you all to support this struggle right now, to understand that that Africans share a universal condition all around the world, and the only way free is self-determination, united socialist Africa underneath the leadership of the African working class. I want to say that no one will free us. The African middle class will not free us. White liberals, white socialists will not free us. We'll free ourselves. We are our own liberators. So Uhuru, and I'll pass it back to President Kalambay.
Woo! Uhuru. I just really want to express my unity and appreciation. And I was in a meeting and Chairman was talking, and I had been debriefed and understood the struggle, had been in various meetings around what was happening in South Africa. But Chairman was saying, Chairman Amalia Shatella, he was saying that we have to understand, like, see how neo-colonial puppets from South Africa, and very similar to us running for office right here in St. Louis, as we built the Black Power Blueprint and have Black leadership trying to stop progress for the people in their own wards. Like, why would they want to stop us from building, contending in dual power, putting a basketball court in on the north side of St. Louis? Why would they want to stop us from having a One Africa, One Nation market? And they simply do not have any confidence or ability to see a future where they're not puppets. So they can't imagine the people being able to be employed to feed, clothe, and house themselves. They have no insight of that. And the arrogance of the petty bourgeoisie. And we see this, we've seen this with various different famous people that you will hear on criticize the Black community, such as Bill Cosby. You will hear him criticizing the African working class, and the arrogance of feeling like that he's not oppressed, that they won't come and push a button and decide that he could go to jail. And that's the same thing in South Africa with this president, with the arrogance of saying, I ain't going to court. I don't have to answer to the same people that I unite against my own people, because I felt like I was such a puppet of theirs that they wouldn't come out and attack me. That's the arrogance of the petty bourgeoisie. The same thing that we have in St. Louis, where we have a particular alderperson that unite with the police, sign bills to have spy institutions to spy over the Black community, to unite with gentrification, working with all the big developers. But the arrogance to say, oh, I don't have to have a driving license to drive this vehicle. You see that arrogance in the petty bourgeoisie, that they feel like they have arrived, and it's no equal feel between the oppressed and the oppressor. You can't have a balanced relationship. You either want the power or you don't. And so that is very important, the work that we're doing in South Africa. And I just really wanted to appreciate everything that was said. And I promise some more goodies in culture from South Africa. So we have some comrades that's on the call right now, all the way from South Africa, that want to come and do poetry. These are some comrades that organize with InPDUM, that's on the grounds in the thick of things right now. And through their culture, through their pain, through everything they experience, they have been gifted with poems. So I really want to appreciate each and every single one of them. And I believe it's 3 poems, and I'm going to turn it over to Zekele for this culture piece. And then please stay tuned, because this is not an event to simply come and just talk. We are an organization that believe in practice. We say that theory with practice is magic, but you can have theory with no practice and it's not going to change anything. You just became good at talking. So we say actions speak louder than words. It's not what we say, it's what we do. So right after the culture, we will be getting into what we need to do to continue to further our struggle in South Africa that affects us all. Because we say one Africa, one nation. So Zekele, back on you. Uhuru.
Uhuru. Yes. Expose the looters here in South Africa. Who are the real looters? We know they're stealing our money, they're stealing our resources. So they're organizing. So I'm with Simpiwe Masugu. One of our members is going to give us a culture. Brother Simpiwe, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Simpiwe, a member of the InPDUM, and I would like to do 2 poems for you. The first one is red, black, and green. White cannot separate us. Chains cannot separate us. I need a change of our pigment. New names and new surnames. Old pain, ugly scars, beautiful soul, the struggle cry. Not all sweet humming sounds, bird sings is freedom. It's all facade of deep struggle scars, hidden deep inside, too explosive, can make a peacock blast. I lift my fist up. Uhuru, Uhuru, red, black, and green. My dream is black, not evil. My grandfathers were slaves, not evil. My grandfathers were caged like birds, singing hymns of struggle. Till to this day we haven't flipped that page. I believe in what my heroes fought for. I believe in what I have to fight for. Now, here's the second poem.
Yeah. Thank you, brother Simpiwe. Yeah, it's nice.
Oh,
Man.
yes. Uhuru. Yes, thank you. Powerful.
Here's the last one. Me, it's all about me free. I'm the word they speak of. One can't speak. Why was I formed? What is my purpose? Why am I selfish? Why don't I give you a piece of me so you can taste what I speak of when I speak of me? In this politics, it's empty promises. They're promising free, but all it offers is free condoms. And that is not me. That is not me. I'm the wind that blows strings, making melodies that sing free. I hope you hear.
That's president. The people are demanding freedom. So the time is now. Join the Uhuru movement. So we have these two poems, president. The other one you played it when you started.
Okay.
So yeah, Uhuru.
Uhuru, comrades. Uhuru. I just really want to salute and appreciate you. You know, we have to understand as African people that we can't sit on the sidelines. We can't say that we can't organize. Where there's a will, there's a way. And so therefore you get some burning spirits, you get you a piece of paper and a pen, and you organize. But we could not sit and be complacent. We could not let them trick us into what they can do in space. Is what we do on the ground. And so it is absolutely dangerous for us not to organize. It is our responsibility and it is our duty to do exactly what we do, to seize power, and fight for Black dreams. Fight for Black dreams. Because every dream that we have is a nightmare. When we have babies and they dream of who they want to be, we feel saddened in our heart because we know that it's a social system that is crushing every dream that they have. And it is our responsibility to fight and defend for every Black dream. Every Black dream is being hijacked right now, and it is our responsibility to fight for them. So really appreciate and salute you all and say, touch one, touch all, because I understand sometimes we can feel isolated. Sometimes our own contradictions in our life of dealing with colonialism, being a colonized African, can make us feel like we can't, but we can. Because I remind myself, no matter what limits is being thrown at me because of colonialism, that I have a force behind me, that I'm a part of the International People Democratic Uhuru movement. I am part of a people that is fighting for power. So they got my back. So we got yours. So just know we got your back. And Fofi is about to come with the call for resources so we can put our words to action, and raise some resources here so we can send to South Africa so they can continue to struggle for peace, bread, and Black power. So they can continue to go out to the trenches, go out amongst the people and organize. That means that we got to get papers. That means that we got to get pens. That means that we got to put some food in some bellies so they have the energy to go out there to organize. And so this is our responsibility and our duty. And so Fofi gonna come and so we can go ahead together and raise these resources that we need to get into South Africa to continue to struggle. Uhuru.
Uhuru, comrades, Uhuru. I want to salute my leadership, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, Secretary General Luwezi, President Columbai, President Tafari, Zakile, and Matsamela Odom. Comrades, I'm here to tell you, Africa is not poor. Africa is being looted. It's being looted right in front of our eyes. So it's time for us to be support and help them, because when we help, when you touch one, you touch all. We need to do this, and we need to do this now. Our goal today is a $300 goal. We have a $300 goal, but we can always go over that. I want to know right now what one person can donate $300. I need you to go to InPDUM.com/donate. InPDUM, InPDUM.com-donate. We're doing this. We are coming together. We are one Africa. We are supporting each other, and we need $300. Okay. It's InPDUM.org/donate. All right. So far, I see we have $100 pledge from a panelist, and I myself have donated $100. So, comrades, Darius, Uhuru, what I really need you to do is how many people
can we stop right now? Wait a minute, Kofi, did you catch that? I had to jump in here real quick. That was Darius that donated the $100. So I just want to give it up to Comrade Darius that, I just really appreciate that he bring his skills.
That wasn't
Darius bring his skills to this organization, and just say that, Darius don't organize every single day, but when he understand that his people got to be free, so he bring his talents of Zoom teching to InPDUM. It's nothing that you can't not do in this organization. This is your organization, and all of us have a role to play. So let's salute Uhuru, Comrade Darius. Uhuru,
Darius.
Sorry, I do want to recognize that wasn't me that donated. So whoever it was, thank you so much for that. But I want to recognize.
Oh, okay. That was
$100. And Comrade Matsumello, Uhuru, Comrade Matsumello. So that's $200. We need someone to match us with $100. How many people will match?
I don't have $100, but I do want to donate. I don't have $100, but I do want to donate, and I want to donate 2021. And specifically, I'm donating 2021 because this is 2021, and it's time for us to get it done. So I'm going to donate $20.21 to South Africa. For our fundraising.
Malika, Comrade Malika. Thank you, comrades. We appreciate you. We want you to go to InPDUM.org/donate. We got 2021 for President Columbi Uhuru. You know what? How many more $20 donations can we get out there? We have a total of a goal of 300. I know we can make this in the next 10 minutes. Go to InPDUM.org, and you don't have to stop after this program is over. You can continue to donate. Put in the comment for Africa. Go to InPDUM.org/donate and put in the comment for Africa, because we are for Africa. Let's show it in what we do. Let us dig in your pocket, pay that bill next week. They need us now, comrades. They need us now. Go to InPDUM.org. How many more $20 bills can we get today at InPDUM.org for Africa? Donate. Comrades, like I say, Africa is not poor. Communication is an issue because in Africa, it costs quite a bit just to get some Wi-Fi. We can't communicate because colonialism has put a chokehold. They've looted Africa and they haven't stopped. Comrades, we need $20. At the present, we have $240 according to my calculation. We need $60. Comrade, if you have $10, it is not too late. Comrade Marissa has
your calculation.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, did we get the $50 from Marissa?
Yes, I just saw that come through. Comrade Marissa, we are $10 from our goal. Comrade, I know we got it. Give us $10. 5 people give us $10. That'll take us over our goal. This is urgent. It is not something that we can play with. This is urgent. I just, as Masamella's $100 just came through. So we got $290. Comrade, $10. That's $10. Instead of just 10, put in 20. Comrades, we can do this. We are Africans, and when you touch one, you touch us all. So you upset me, you upset all of Africa. Comrades, let's do this. We got this. We can do this. And with that, I want to say, Matum just pledged $25. Uhuru, comrade. Yes, let's keep it going.
Girl.
Come on, let's keep it going. The more we can put in, the more we get out, because Africa is us. When we speak as one, we speak as one nation. I can't hear you, comrade. I can't hear you, comrade.
I was just noting that we did just reach our goal. So we really want to appreciate everybody that helped us raise our goal a little bit over. I think that was $10 over, folks.
$15 over. $315. I want to
salute everybody that was really want to appreciate everybody that donated towards our goal. And we raised our goal. We couldn't do it without you. So we appreciate you all and want to remind you to go to InPDUM.org now and make that donation so we can get those resources to where it needs to go. Uhuru, this social media dropped me. So I'm going to go ahead. Really want to appreciate everybody that is watching, everybody that shared this, everybody that comment, everybody that had it to donate, and to say that the struggles continue from South Africa to St. Louis. We must fight back. So we say fist up, fight back. And I'm going to pass it to Masamela that will make the closing remarks and say you don't want to miss the convention, the 2021 convention. That is, I'm sorry, Q&A. Thank you, Conrad, for that correction. This is Q&A. So you can go ahead now and put any comments or questions that you might have for President Shekele or Vice President Masamela or myself. If you could put the comments in, we will read those, and we're going to go right into our Q&A right now.
Yeah, Uhuru, thanks for that, President Kalabaya. Yeah, we do like to hear from if you're here on Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, what comments do you all have? Any questions you like to get answered? I'd like to really, like I said, salute the leadership of the party. It's for a long time, and through which the 1970s through the 1990s, through which the party operated basically as the United States front of the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania, really underscoring the African working class struggle in South Africa, right? Placing the freedom for African people into the hands of African people, outside of the hands of either ideological imperialists or the African middle class, which has always been people tried to force down us. So one of the questions we see, President Kalabaya, is why don't you go to BLM to contribute? Why don't you go to BLM to contribute? They have millions. Why don't we ask Black Lives Matter to contribute to this struggle? They got millions.
Comrades, we early on, the African People's Socialist Party and Chairman Amalia Shatella had said exactly what Black Lives Matter was, that it was nothing but a empty slogan that came from the bourgeoisie to change the narrative of the Black power struggle. That's what Black Lives Matter is. So if we understand the character of it, why would we go to them and ask them to contribute to a real struggle for liberation if the whole, like it was built to counter the revolution. It was built to confuse the people and to put the people in motion to simply be begging on their knees for their life and not fighting for their future and their kids' life for power. So when we understand that, that kind of like sums it up why we wouldn't go to Black Lives Matter and demand them to pay, give us resources. The resources is going to come from the African working class. It's not going to, it's no elevator to liberation. We're going to have to take the steps. We're going to have to bang it out. We're not going to pray our way out of this. We're not going to sing our way out of this. We are going to have to apply science, and we're going to have to fight and put our pennies together and build contented and dual power to do that. So no, we won't go to Black Lives Matter and ask them for resources that we know that those resources was dumped there to confuse the people. I hope, did anybody else want to, Zakele or Marcella?
Uhuru, yeah, and Prez, I mean, we can bring up Zakele too, because I think that this is a crucial question, right? The central theme of what we're talking about is the anti-colonial struggle for African liberation, not a struggle to change the minds and hearts of colonizers. We only got one request or the demand to the colonizers, or two, right? Get up, leave, and give back all the stolen resources to African people, right? If you want to change the way in which you think about us, you could change the way what you think about us, but with power in our hands, we know that we're going to define the African past and the African future for our own selves. So yeah. So I mean, but this is central. So I just want to really salute you for your answer, President Zakele. Anything you want to say on that?
Yes, Uhuru, comrades. I was cut off by this electricity again, so I went off. So hey, we are struggling. So hey, I'll have to be self-critical with preparation. Also, President, I was on the road trying to get a T-shirt printed out, so I didn't have time to relax, to get prepared. So we're on the streets, so moving around every day. So yeah, so I don't know. I just caught when you were talking about the Black Lives Matter, whether we should go to get funds on that organization. I also want to unite with what President says. We have to do it ourselves. So that's what we're bringing in also here in South Africa to the workers, to say we have to do things ourselves. African internationalism, that's what teaches us. So we're taking it to the African workers. It's tough. They don't know that's how things should be done, but we are taking it there. So now the conditions have opened up now. So since these riots, people are talking every day. They're talking about what happened. So they are scared. The state is also scared. So we are being surrounded every day. We have snitches around here. So, but we are pushing around, organizing. We have, since we are seeing, we got our backs out there as Uhuru movement. You are one Africa, one nation. So if they touch us anywhere, they will touch us everyone. So we will push this organization during this time. So this campaign, we are kicking it today. So we're on the street every day. Tomorrow we'll be on the street to try to finish T-shirt, to talk to the people on the street. So today I was trying to get the T-shirt. I was not talking with the people. So tomorrow we'll be with the people, we'll be talking with the Africans, telling them that we should get organized. This is what happened. Who are the real looters? Exposing the looters around. So the people, they know what is happening. So it's just we have to bring them under organization. So the resources that we want to appreciate, the resources, I think we are moving on the right direction now. They will help us a lot to gain a lot of people. So I think now There's no turning back, President Kalamba. We will do it ourselves. The people, once they see what we have done as the African nation, they will start to talk about us. We have to force this thing now. In South Africa, they don't want to report about us, but the petty bourgeoisie are stealing this African internationalism around. They're stealing our ideas. So they're taking them to the people, try to win the people. So we have to push also to take it the African directors, the African internationalists, the Uhuru movement. So like to appreciate the support, comrades. Yeah, it's one organization, it's one people, it's one family. So yeah, that's what I have to say, Comrade Uhuru.
Yeah.
Uhuru, I just really appreciate that, because all money pushes an agenda, and we're going to have to do it ourselves, and that's one of the things about the Uhuru movement is so many things, but the 8 years that I've been a part of the African People, proud member of the African People Socialist Party, the integrity of this organization is just very powerful, because all money pushes an agenda. And I've seen that. I've seen how they dump the money in. And what my comrades, President Jekele was saying is that they trying to sound like us. The petty bourgeoisie now is listening to us. You can hear the Democrat Party call themselves socialists, and you can hear the Democrat Party things like reparations. They have the people struggle, and the struggle that we have been engaged in have forced the people to say we have demands, and so now they have to deliver. But they do not. They're opportunists. Or they keep doing it. They use our political line, and that's why to confuse the people, they would sell out the long-term goal. An opportunist is someone that would sell out the long-term goal for a short-term interest. So they would sell us out and say, "Oh, here's a $400 reparations check," but no plans for complete liberation. And that's why the African working class have to have a party vanguard to help the people to understand all the bamboozle trickery that the petty bourgeoisie and the neo-colonial puppets use to confuse the people and have them running in circles and never destroying capitalism, capitalism, and building socialism in their own hands. So that was very powerful statement. Jekele, I unite. You know what I'm saying? We have to seize power and do it for ourselves. And we are going to adjourn this webinar that's been very powerful. I really want to salute all of the brave men and women in South Africa that have been tearing it down, that have been fighting back and saying, I can't take it anymore, that this is not going to just be, you're just going to continue to do business as usual on our backs. I salute you on today. I salute you on today. And now is our responsibility, the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement, President Jekele, and all the forces under your leadership. It is time for us to take it a step further and give this struggle character that lead us to complete liberation. We must win the masses to understand that we need peace, bread, and Black power. So thank you, and I'm going to pass it to Vice Pres for closing remarks. Uhuru.
Uhuru, yeah, once again, I'm Masamela Odom, the International Vice President of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. This is the 30th anniversary of the formation of InPDUM, but the InPDUM really builds on over 50 years of organization within the Uhuru movement and the African liberation struggle, really with the purpose of completing the African Revolution of the 1960s. As we noted today, it's the 20-year anniversary of InPDUM in South Africa as well. with InPDUM going into South Africa with the fight against the colonial domination, changing that narrative as ours being one as a struggle against racism, to change the way in which colonizers think about African people, to one against colonialism, in which we change the political economic domination through which African people live under. That's not defined by the period 1948 to 1994. That's defined by almost 600 years of African struggle, through which the colonization of Africa was the precipice through which the European colonial capitalist domination of the world was birthed. But we also know that Africa is the place that birthed colonial capitalism, and Africa is going to be the domination of Africa is the place that birthed colonial capitalism, and therefore the liberation of African people is going to be the thing that overturns that system and ensures freedom, freedom, bread, peace, and Black power for African people. So I want to really salute everybody for your support. Continue to share this, spread this. To InPDUM.org, put for South Africa in your comments and your donations so that we can get resources on the ground. So once again, Uhuru, Vanguard up, bread, peace, and Black power.